zeroing in on something specific, ADA Title II compliance, specifically at the Talbot County, Georgia Detention Center.
Yeah, we've looked at a report basically analyzing public info, trying to figure out who's the ADA point person there, what does that job involve?
And, really importantly, what rights do individuals with disabilities actually have inside that facility? So let's just jump in.
Okay, well, the first thing that kind of stands out, we can identify Carol Eisen. She's the ADA coordinator for Talbot County overall. Got her contact details here, 706-665-32220-35W, Madison St. Talbotton.
Right.
But the detention center itself, nothing explicit in the materials we reviewed, no specific name mentioned.
That's interesting. So county level, yes. Facility level?
Yeah.
Maybe not. We have numbers for Sheriff Bobby Yates Jr. and the detention center admin line.
Right, 706-665-8314 for the sheriff, and the admin numbers 706-665-31111 or 8681, but no dedicated ADA contact listed there.
So why does that matter? Is it a big deal if it's countywide versus facility specific?
Well, it could be. The Georgia Department of Corrections policy actually suggests having facility ADA coordinators, which implies, that having someone focused just on the detention center environment is probably best practice.
Because the needs might be different.
Exactly. It raises the question, how are those unique detention center needs being met in Talbot County if there isn't that dedicated person? Is it falling to the sheriff's office or the general admin or Carol Eisen? It's not quite clear.
Okay, stepping back a bit then. Why is ADA Title II even a factor in a jail? You don't usually think of it like a public park or library.
Yeah, that's a common thought, but Title II is really broad. It prohibits discrimination based on disability by all state and local government entities, and correctional facilities definitely fall under that umbrella.
So it's about equal access.
Equal access to services, programs, activities for qualified individuals with disabilities. It's a balancing act, of course. You have security needs in a jail.
Right, huge security needs.
But those needs have to be balanced with the rights guaranteed under the ADA.
Okay, so let's imagine Talbot County did have a designated ADA coordinator just for the detention center.
Yeah.
What would their job look like? What's on the checklist?
They'd be busy. First, developing ADA policies tailored to the jail. Handling requests for reasonable accommodations from inmates. That's a big one.
Like what kind of requests?
Could be anything from, say, needing help getting to medical appointments or needing specific assistive devices. Though the process for requesting isn't detailed for Talbot County in our sources. They'd also do self-evaluations of the facility, maybe develop transition plans if changes are needed.
Makes sense.
And training staff, that's crucial. Investigating complaints, making sure communication works for everyone.
Communication like interpreters.
Yeah, interpreters, maybe materials in braille or large print, auxiliary aids and services.
Yeah.
And they'd collaborate on physical stuff, like making sure cells are accessible if needed.
Gotcha. So what are the absolute non-negotiables? The key ADA requirements for a facility like this?
Okay, key things. Reasonable modifications, changing policies or practices. Effective communication, we just touched on that. Program accessibility, making sure things like education programs or religious services are accessible.
Even those?
Yes. Architectural accessibility is another physical access, especially in new construction or alterations. There are specific standards for holding cells, door widths, space to maneuver, accessible fixtures.
Detailed.
And also non-discrimination in employment practices at the facility.
Okay. So back to the practical side. If someone is incarcerated there and needs an accommodation, how do they ask? What's step one?
And that's where it gets a bit murky based on our info for the detention center specifically. We didn't find a dedicated form or procedure mentioned, unlike, say, the county court system, which seemed to have something more formal. The S-State DOC policy implies a structured process, probably involving that facility coordinator we talked about.
So without that clear process, what are the options?
The most direct routes would probably be contacting Carol Eisen, the county coordinator, or asking the detention center administration directly, saying, hey, what's your process for this?
Okay, and what if things go wrong? If someone feels that ADA rights weren't respected, is there a grievance procedure?
Again, we didn't find a specific ADA grievance procedure laid out for Talbot County. Some places, like Morgan County, apparently have really clear steps.
But not here, based on the report.
Not detailed in the report, no. So the first step would likely be trying to resolve it internally through the jail admin or maybe Carol Eisen.
And if that doesn't work?
Well, the ultimate recourse is filing a complaint with the U.S. Department of Justice. They handle ADA enforcement ada.complaint@usegoj.gov is the contact.
Okay, good to know. So let's quickly recap. We have a county ADA coordinator, Carol Eisen, but how ADA compliance works inside the Talbot County Detention Center specifically, it's less defined in the public info we saw.
Exactly. The core requirements of ADA Title II definitely apply, no question. Reasonable modifications, communication, access, all that.
But the how seems a bit unclear.
Right. And this points to potential areas for Talbot County to maybe enhance things, clearly outlining their ADA policies for the jail, maybe officially designating that facility level coordinator, and having a transparent grievance procedure. That would all add clarity.
It would make things clearer for everyone involved: staff, inmates, the public.
Definitely. It helps ensure those rights are consistently protected.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. It's obviously complex, right? Balancing tight security in a jail with the need to provide real access and uphold the rights of people with disabilities. Thinking about that challenge, what kind of innovative practical solutions could work? How can facilities ensure both safety and dignity are fully respected in that environment? Something to think about. Thanks for diving into this with us today.